Adam, a really tough victory here this evening, a 9-point win over Coventry in absolutely horrendous conditions. Just tell us how difficult that was.
Yeah, that was very difficult. Coventry were really into us at the start there. I think the conditions really made it quite an even playing field, and I think it was just a lot of grit from the boys just to get that win. I think obviously when the ball's wet, you had to slow down the game that would usually want to play, but I think we did pretty well with the conditions.
Yeah, I know, talking about the conditions, I know you've recently come over from Australia. Just how much of a welcome to English rugby was that?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I can't feel my toes at the moment, so I need to get into a hot bath, but that's good. I enjoy the old wet games. You don't feel as tired, and it's obviously cold over here compared to Australia, so I've really enjoyed it, and I think I just need to get in the hot bath really quick.
Yeah, Coventry, in fairness to them, they made it extremely tough out there, didn't they? How much did we help? Just kind of give us a bit of an insight to how hard we had to work for that win.
It was very tough. They defended well, they attacked well. They were very very nippy around the attack with the 10, who played very well with those little kicks and chips in behind, and we just sort of had to be on the ball the whole time and fully focused in what we were doing, and they really took us to the 80th minute, and we sort of ground out those few penalty kicks at the end just to get us over the line.
It was probably the first half that won us the game, wasn't it? An 11-point going into the wind as well was always going to be a strong lead. How much did the power game in the first half really make such a huge difference?
Yeah, I think when we sort of get a go forward in our attack with our forwards, and it sort of gives us a good platform to just keep going forward. I think with having the wind in the first half was a bit tough, but we're sort of thinking in that second half we're going to have the wind, so to have that lead going into the break at half time was good for us.
Again, in fairness to Coventry, we had a 2-3 rolling balls down there that got held up, but how much did we have to kind of stay patient and also got the rewards for it with those couple of tries as well?
Yeah, it was tough there. I think with the weather it makes it a bit harder. Obviously the ball's very greasy, and it's not as perfect as you'd want it in a dry conditions, so we sort of had to keep at it, and I think in that second half when we had a few 5-man mauls in the middle of the field to get us those penalty and advantages, that really worked well to get those penalty kicks at the end.
In those kind of games, does it just come down, with the conditions so bad, does it kind of come down to character, and we really showed that in that second half, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think full credit for the boys. Obviously we had the week off this week, and I think it's great that to have that win going into the break.
Defensively, not panicking as well when they scored. It was obviously the lead was just down to 6 points, but just kind of grinding it out in those last 10 minutes made a huge difference, didn't they?
Yeah, we had a few the yellow card there, which we had to obviously defend with less men, and I think we really worked hard. We had those mauls, and just boys just working for each other and getting off the ground after making a tackle, and just that true grit and teamwork that we always go on about.
Another one for you forwards this evening, yourself, Murph and Rain in that back row. Just talk a little bit about that dynamic, because that performed outstandingly well tonight.
Yeah, we do well. I think I like working with Kieran and Rain. They're great ball players, and I think defensively we make our mark as well, which is a good balanced effect in that back row. And I've coming in to this team just halfway during the season, I've really enjoyed it, and I think I'm happy to be here with the boys, and working with those two back rows is great.
Yeah, that's 8 wins on the bounce since January now, obviously since you came in. How much have you kind of seen a steady improvement over the last few months?
Yeah, I think that those 8 wins have been good. I think we sort of keep doing the things that we do well every week, being obviously adapting, I think, is what we do well. We adapt to the conditions and where we might be struggling during the game, and I think that that knowledge and reaction to those to where we may need to adapt is very good from the boys.
I know the fixtures have been absolutely relentless recently, so how nice is it for everyone now to have a little week off and recharge the batteries?
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait for the week off.
Well done, outstanding.
Cheers, Ollie.
Glen, 9-point win over Coventry this evening in absolutely horrendous conditions. That's a fantastic win, isn't it?
Yeah, no, very pleased with that win, chappers. I thought the boys put a hell of a shift in. We spoke about when you come away to places like Coventry on a Friday night in these type of conditions, it's a lot about the attitude that you bring, and we had it in abundance today from the off. I thought the work rate was outstanding, and I thought our game control was really good, and 4 points, very happy with that indeed.
I know you talk an awful lot about, as you just kind of said, desire, effort, all those kind of bits and bobs that aren't so much about the rugby, but about the kind of desire and kind of what we need to be doing. You can't ask for more in those kind of conditions, can you?
No, I think we pride ourselves on it a lot. lot, and I think the boys have been driving those sort of standards for quite a while now. But you need it for when you come to places like this, because you got 2,500 fans on top of you, and they got quite loud and noisy, which you're going to get that, and I think the boys' attitude from everyone was fantastic, and it's no less than what they deserved. I think they put an incredible amount of hard work in since Christmas, or even before Christmas, but we've been on a good run, and they're going to 9 days off now that they've really earned.
Yeah, we've had some really tough away games this since the turn of the year, haven't we? In this block, Nottingham, Jersey, Coventry, but the game management seems to be so much better at the moment.
Yeah, I think the boys have really learned since Christmas. I think probably that Newcastle game for us was a bit of a turning point about how we approached, and some of the pitches that you go away to, even though this is a 4G, a little bit underwater. I think they've had a few issues, but so they're having it ripped back up again, so they probably want the money back. But I think you've got to, at this time of year, when you're going to go away to a lot of places where the pitches might not be in ideal condition, you're sometimes better off playing without the ball. And we pride ourselves on our exit work, and the boys have sort of really turned the corner with that. I think our halfbacks have probably started to understand maybe what we want, and the tactical awareness of the group has really improved, and it's great to see now that they're leading it themselves now, and I think testament to them and their ability to learn and kick on, and it's been fantastic for us really. This block of 6 or 7 games has really seen us kick on nicely.
Yeah, it was that first half that really kind of won it for us, didn't it? With an 11-point lead, it was always going to be tough for them to come back to it in the wind. The patience we had in that first half was outstanding, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought we played a lot of rugby in their half. I can't remember how many times they got in our half in that first half. I thought the boys gained control, and then that stuff that we speak about, the attitude and desire off the ball. We were on the scraps. Some of our collisions in defence were just forcing the errors high up the pitch, and then we were getting the ball in the areas that we wanted to attack in then, and we weren't over expending energy in our half, and we didn't get bored of doing that. I think in the second half, we a little bit of inaccuracy and the sin binning at a crucial time probably lost our momentum a little bit, but on the whole I thought the boys were spot on with their game control. Yeah,
you mentioned some of those hits in defence, the amount also in kind of carries as well, the amount of times we were getting over the gain line in that first half. The power from the likes of the back row was really kind of coming to the fore, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we've got a fantastic back row that work incredibly hard, and we've got Jordy Reid out injured, who's been terrific for us as well. Shane Buckley's been putting a hell of a shift in, and he's gone back onto the bench for us today, and it's great to have that strength and depth and know that you can rely on them to, in conditions like this where you're going to have to tighten the game up a little bit, you're going to need people that can get you the game line, and I thought our back row got through a tremendous amount of work. Some of the carries from Rain and Murph and Ads, the energy they brought, and then that just lifts the whole group, and we're blessed really that we've got some strength and depth.
Now with that try conceded with about 15 minutes to go, obviously the lead was down to 6 points. We could have been forgiven for kind of panicking a bit, but how pleased were you that we really kind of stuck back to our game plan, played like we did in the first half actually, and just ground out the win in the end?
Yeah, no, massively so, and maybe in the past we maybe would have tried to overplay there a little bit, and again I think that's probably the most pleasing thing from a coaching perspective is that the tactical awareness has definitely increased, and I think we've got complete trust in this group. They're a fantastic group of boys that quite a tight-knit group as well. The halfbacks have been a couple of games on, couple of games off, and they've always been driving standards. Those that aren't in the team are pushing one another in training to try and get not to make it difficult, but to get us as best prepared as we can for the weekend, and I think that togetherness has really started to come through, and I think we'll be needing these 9 days off. I know I am, and we'll come back hopefully kicking on, because I think we've got 11 games straight or 10 games straight after that, and it's going to be a huge collective squad effort.
Yeah, a bit of a cliche about kind of winning is a habit, all that kind of stuff, but I think that was our 8th in a row, and those last 10 minutes, was that perhaps on show, that kind of the extra confidence we've got from those wins?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're definitely right. It's a cliche, winning is a habit, but I think that you can take yourself to those places, having done it in previous games, and having played in probably quite bad conditions now for 3 or 4 weeks. We're kind of used to playing into a strong wind and doing that in the first half, and I think there's a good buzz around the place and a good confidence in the minute. We won't get ahead of ourselves. We've got a couple of big games when we get back at home, which is nice. 2 of the Yorkshire teams at home, and then obviously up to Newcastle, and 3rd game back in after that. So we'll stay grounded, but we'll definitely enjoy a couple of beers on the bus now.
Yeah, let's just reflect a little bit. That is 8 out of 8 so far this year. How proud are you of the effort that's been put in the last kind of 3 months?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's something that we speak about a lot. Work rate being what we want to underpin everything we do. We never want to be outworked. And you know, I think what's pleasing from my point of view is that the players are driving that massively now. You know, you're sort of coach-led, player-driven, and it's really pleasing to see that some of the leaders within the group are stepping up and really driving those standards at the minute and pushing. And then almost as a coach, you become a little bit redundant, but I suppose that's good leadership. And you know, it's great to see those leaders develop within the group, because at the end of the day, when they cross the whitewash, they're the ones doing it, not us.
Yeah, and just on the flip side of that, a week off now, and then a massively exciting end to the season, isn't it? It's going to be very good.
Yeah, I think we've got a definitely exciting run to come. We've got a home semi-final. We've got 2 home games, as just mentioned before going up to Newcastle as well. And you know, we want to keep the momentum rolling and go up to that Newcastle game and really test ourselves against the team that's come down. But we'll definitely rest up these next 9 days first and recuperate more so mentally than anything else. I think it's been a big slog since Christmas, and the boys will hopefully come back raring to go.